All right, hello everybody, and welcome. We're here live from Loudon, New Hampshire, as the AWSCO Snapdragon Continental Series moves on to the Magic Mile here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the USA Today 200. Predictably, we're going 200 laps around this mile-ish oval. It's slightly over a mile, so our mileage will be about 210 miles. I think, over the entire race. But yeah, pretty simple 200-mile race around one of the flattest ovals, I would think, in the one of the flattest bigger ovals, I would say, in the country. It's a very popular venue for northeastern modified racing. We also see the NASCAR National Series visit here in many occasions. We've, I think, even seen CASCAR way back here, the Canadian Stock Car series, before NASCAR took over, visit here for some races as well, I think. So yeah, this racetrack is seen quite a share of history as the Continental Series now takes its place on the list of racing series that have visited this track as they continue going off on their own here, while the Cup Series is off doing international races. And with that, looking around at the track here for this race, I mean, I'm joined here once again with Ellie in the pre-race show. I think the flat mile oval formula is definitely one that's kind of rare to see around here. I think not many tracks, I would say, really operate in a way like New Hampshire does. At least racing wise, obviously the modifieds put on great shows here very often. So I think that is the kind of the template, I would say, for the racing tonight. Or you might even look at the old CASCAR races that were here, given that the cars we race are based on the current NASCAR Canada Series cars as well. So they at least share the same bodies with slightly different internals. So this is definitely the kind of racing that definitely still part of the kind of racing that we expect out of these cars. So what do you expect from the racing so far? What have you seen from practice and qualifying, and what do you think is going to happen here?
I want to first say that this track is pretty interesting to me. It's a little over a mile, and we've had some pretty interesting races here. I think there was a motorcycle race here one time, a long time back, I think. But I think the practice and qualifying results are pretty interesting. Especially when you start looking at the Fast 10. I think we're going to see a competitive race here. I don't know if tire strategy will matter too much, because I don't think the tire wear looks like it'll be too bad on this track. But, I mean, obviously pit strategy is always going to be a huge factor. But, yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out, especially given the field is pretty interesting. We have some names up here who are kind of shocking to see this high up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some surprises in qualifying. The top two were pretty surprising, I would think. Brenda Davis did run well in the previous race. That's why she's in the chase for the money, to be fair. So good. So continuing that momentum, at least on the 54. And then on the outside, you have someone who we haven't seen in about a month and a half now. It's the 44 of Lulu Connie in that Fanatics machine for RGB Racing. That's a car we haven't seen in so long. No, I don't even remember the last race she qualified for. It's I'll have to double check that. But yeah, definitely a real surprise to see that car qualify, I guess, but also qualifies that well. Last race was all the way out at Evergreen, where Sandy Martel won. So this car doesn't show up in the grid too often. So this is very good result for them. Cassidy Jones as well has been kind of struggling in past weeks. Put put the Mercedes up into third there, Robin Morales on the outside. Not too surprising. If you think about the track that she ran really well at and won, which was the Milwaukee Mile, another flat mile oval. Maybe some of that setup and work that Project Horizon did are translating well here. And then you have Alice Hageman and Cara Reynolds on row 3, Leah Azelhart, Kate Summers, row 4, and then rounding out the top 10, you have McCarron and Starchiev. So, yeah, kind of a real mix of drivers here. The real surprises, I think, are the ones kind of in that top 5, I think. The 44-4 and even the 81.
Yeah, I think the top 5 in general is more surprising than the top 10, because once you start going through the top 10, these are some names like we're kind of used to seeing do a little, just always they're really good, or pretty decent at least. I mean, Vinny Schultz is row 8, so, but once you get down to row 5, it's pretty interesting. I mean, other than Kate Summers, I mean, I don't know when the last time we saw Lulu Connie was either. It's been a while. Alice Hageman that high is also pretty impressive as well, I think. Same with Cassidy Jones. I agree with your point. Leah Azelhart is a little less surprising. I think I saw her perform.
She's qualified. Yeah, she's qualified pretty decently in the last few races too.
Yeah,
so.
she's not too surprising to me, but everybody else is kind of like a spectacle to me right now, and I'm kind of interested to see if their performances in practice and qualifying sticks on the track, especially past the first like 5 laps. Yeah, that's kind of my take on that.
Yeah. The racing here shouldn't be too different from what we saw in the Milwaukee Mile. This is still a very flat oval, although I will mention that this is I think a progressively banked track. There's parts of the turns with more banking than the rest of it. So the insides of the corners are very flat. I think they're only 2 or 3 degrees up there. And just as a reference, I think I think it's 9 1/4 degrees at Milwaukee Mile. So this is a very flat track. Very, like, almost road course that's oval-shaped levels here we're talking about. So, this track is definitely going to be a challenge to race at. So, getting that start up front is definitely prime real estate, I would say, for some of these drivers.
Yeah, and I would think depending on who gets a good start and bad start is going to matter a lot, especially when you start going into row 8 and above.
Yeah, if you start heading to the second half of the field, I think you have a real clash of drivers going back there. A lot of our best drivers are either taking points provisionals or qualified pretty low, down, including our most recent race winner, the 25 Ableton Perez is down there in the last provisional spot. And then you see the rest of our chase for the money drivers. They're all starting on the inside. Kennedy, Martell, and Roberts. They're all starting in different parts of the field. Kennedy's in 11th, Martell is in 19th, and Roberts is in 27th. So we've got our four drivers are kind of everywhere right now. So they're all in different parts of the field to start the race. We'll see if they converge over time, but that's definitely going to make things interesting for that battle.
Yeah, and I think more so towards the half point of the race is when I think it's really going to matter where who actually qualified that high and which one of those drivers actually stuck to performing that well that long enough. I mean, I'll be surprised if we see a lot of them still in the top 10 by then. But
I mean, yeah, with the way with the length of the race, I would be, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for drivers to move up and down the pack, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we saw in Milwaukee as well. I mean, that's something we saw in Milwaukee as well. Lots of drivers who started way back in the pack, up to the 30s, made their way up to the top 5 by the end of the race.
Yeah, and I think we can see that with a lot of these
drivers.
drivers.
I think we'll eventually see that. It might be a little bit stagnant at the front. It might be a little bit stagnant to start the race, but once you go further down the race, as cars start to make adjustments, and you get those potentially getting green flag cycles in, that's when race stream adjustments are going to be made, and that's going to be where things are going to be really important. Yeah. Obviously, track position is going to be at a premium here, so if we do get that flurry of cautions, watch out for drivers, for teams maybe electing to stay out to try to get some track position in the middle of the race, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's another thing we're going to have to look out for, especially with some of these better drivers that kind of started in the midfield here. I think Zoe Quint would be one of the ones I would look out for to actually make her way beyond row 11 up to, getting in like a top 5 position or something.
Yeah. I mean, he had a Yoko in the 0 starting all the way down there as well, all the way out in 35th. That is, coincidentally, the same starting position she was in the Johnsonville 250. That was our Milwaukee race, and she ended up in 2nd there, right behind Robin Morales. So, starting in the same spot where she had a really good run out of that race. So, we'll see if that's we'll see how that correlates too. And let's see if we continue looking around. Continue looking around the data from that race, I mean, you'll see that plenty of drivers were able to move up from well down in the field, including the 8 of Kate Summers, who ran really well in that race. Came close to was chasing down the leaders for most of that for a good chunk of the race in Milwaukee, I think. Ran up front all day. Didn't get to lead a lap in that race, I think, but came quite close to striking distance of the top drivers for most of the race. She does start on the outside of row 4 in 8th place. That might be someone to look out for. That might be one to watch as well, at least early on in the race.
I think she's one of the few drivers up there that is probably going to be able to stick that high, given her performances on tracks similar to this and even not similar to this. She's been pretty decent lately, so I wouldn't be too surprised if she was one of the few that actually qualified that well and stood that well throughout pretty much a good chunk of the race.
Yeah. All right, with that, I think it's just about time now to hand things over to the booth. Echo and Ludovic will be taking over the reins for commentary today. So yeah, enjoy the show as the USA Today 200 here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's about to begin.
Yeah, and welcome to the beautiful New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. For the USA Today 200, we got 200 laps, 218 miles, I believe, something like that. This track just slightly over a mile long, so the mile to lap ratio is a little bit off, but it is all right. I'm joined in the booth today by Ludovic. Hello, Ludovic.
I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a relatively fun one. It's usually New Hampshire is not the most explosive track, but it gives an okay entertainment.
Yeah, New Hampshire races quite well, and I enjoy how this track races with these cars. So Brenda Davis heads up the front row with in that chase for the money. She's looking to get that cash bonus. How do you think she's going to take this race, knowing that she's starting on the pole? Is she going to go all out for that win as well to get into the playoffs, or do you think she's just going to chase the cash?
Well, I don't think there's a very much difference. I think in both cases, you're going to be pushing as hard as you can. You're getting relatively close to the end of the regular season now. Drivers are going to start thinking about pushing more every week to get into playoffs. I think she'll go for both, but if she can settle for just the money because she doesn't have the car to win, and she'll probably try to win the money.
Well, all right, we're going to go through our starting grid here from New Hampshire. Row number 1, it's Brenda Davis and new fiancée Lulu Connie. Congratulations to we'd like to congratulate Lulu Connie and Karina Willis-Callaway on their engagement, something that they have been parading around for a bit, and it is absolutely deserved. We congratulate those two. Row 2, it's Cassidy Jones and the 26 of Robin Morales. Winner at Milwaukee, a pretty similar track to this one. Row 3 is the 81 of Alice Hageman and the 95 of Cara Reynolds. Row 4 is the 16 of Leah Azelhart and the 8 of Kate Summers. Row 5 is the 10 of Charlie McCarran and the 66 of Ani Starchev. Row 6, the 12 of Jackie Kennedy and the 99, Karina Willis Callaway. Row 7 is the 88 Madison Estrada and the 11 Takamoto Aya. Row 8, the 24 Ashley Johnson and the 62 of Vinnie Schultz. Row 9 is the 40 of Lara Sundale and the 38 of Isabella Fitzmaurice. Row 10, the 51 of Sandy Martel and the 6 of Mila Chestina. Row 11, the 82 of Zoe Quinn and the 35 of Krista Anderson. Row 12, the 04 of Emily Tremblay-Vaudrey and the 84 of Tammy Bird. Row 13 is the 46 of Bridget Brousseau and the 78 of Lexi Rockwood. Row 14, the 45, Liz Roberts and the 55, Deborah Williams. Row 15, teammates Maya Shelby in the 5 and the 42 of Freya Van Lundquist. Row 16 is the 65, Latanya Gray and the 64, Mayumi Moriyama. Row 17, the 14 of Katrin Edelstein and the 93 of Izzy Oberon. Row 18, the 0 of Hieda Yoko and the 7 of Reina Munoz. Row 19, the 22, Naomi Davenport, and last week's winner, the 25, Kathy Ableton Perez. Ableton Perez led 1 lap in last week's victory, and it was the last lap. It was quite an impressive performance from Ableton Perez last week in Memphis to be able to take home the win with the 1 lap lead that she had. Well, 200 laps here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, this just over a mile track. What's the biggest key to this race here? What do you think the biggest thing's going to be for determining how this race ends up going?
Well, I believe it's probably going to be strategy. I don't think New Hampshire is going to be a relatively easy track to pass at. So, yes, it's probably going to be very important to have good pit stops, because otherwise you're going to get screwed and lose 10, 20 positions and maybe only be able to gain half of those back.
This should be a 2-stop race in terms of fuel. So we will see at least those 2 stops. The fuel window's around 80 to 90 laps, so if we're able to go green all the way, the pit stops would come around 80 to 90 and 160 to 180. So, all right, command has been given. We're about to get going here from New Hampshire. Davis and Connie will lead them to the green here. 5 drivers eligible for that chase for the money bonus this week. Those drivers are Ableton, Perez, Martel, Kennedy, Roberts, and Davis. Brenda Davis starts on the pole, and she'll have the early lead for that chase for the money, but we'll see how long she holds that lead. Green flag is out, and we're racing here in New Hampshire. Spreading out towards the back of the field, but we keep it clean for that first turn, which is something that a fair few drivers had been worried about, making it through turn 1. We keep it green. And Brenda Davis will lead the opening lap. That's a bonus point for Davis, who's actually had a pretty solid run of things lately in the point standings. Davis came into this race 24th in points. She's got top 10s in the last 2 races as well.
Yeah, it's going to be something to watch out as this race goes along. These cars on short tracks really don't have a lot of grip. It's a very interesting factor. It's because they're very cheaply made. Really, they're made to be built in, not in bulk, but to be built relatively easily. So they don't grip around well, especially on slower racetracks. That means that you gotta be careful when sending into the inside. Oof, well, because something like that can happen where the 12 had to check up during a turn. That almost cost her the overtake. So now we have a battle for the race lead.
Alice Hageman all over Davis right now. Kennedy trying to get underneath the 16 of Hazelhart. You're going to notice they really don't go for the line on the very bottom of the track in the turns. the best way to pass here is actually staying in that second to third groove here because of the way that this track is banked. That groove on the very bottom, there's much less banking down there, so it's just, you just can't, there's even less grip down there.
Indeed, there is
Whoa.
way less grip. That was close to the ball. Shouldn't be too much of a concern, the wall, I would imagine, but maybe be careful at the beginning and end of tire runs. Oof, that almost washed up as well.
3 wide back here, that's Martel, Connie, and Morales. Morales will actually escape that. There's Takamoto Aya trying to make a spot up on Charlie McCarron. But Brenda Davis so far has led every lap.
I don't think she's that fast of a car there. She seems to be maybe holding up a little bit. Cars behind her, so...
Yeah, I think she is definitely holding up some cars behind her right now, but she's holding on right now. Got a couple teammates here. That's Azelhard and Kennedy. That's for 4th. And I think as well, you're going to see that some of these cars that started on the outside... Oh, the 14 of Edelstein just got shipped into the wall. No caution as far as I can tell.
Well, that's a race ruiner, so... the 14...
She might be able to recover from that. She might be okay. These cars are built to not take a lot of damage.
Well, they're built for the chassis to not take a lot of damage. The aero takes a lot of damage, but it doesn't really matter that much, the aero around here. So yeah, it's probably a good kind, a good type, but
Oh,
it's still not
Summers.
good. Oh, and
Cars coming to
oh
pit
my
road. The
God.
66 of Starchev has ran into the pit wall. Caution is out. These
They were
cars
just
are...
a little bit too greedy. You saw a bunch of cars sort of plunging to go for a 3 wide and then realizing there's not enough grip and having to sort of overcorrect exiting the turn. And yeah, when you overcorrect exiting out of turn 4, that's a possibility of hitting the inside barrier. I hope she's alright.
It looked like Starchev was trying to pit, but I'm not sure. The 8 of Summers got really out of shape exiting turn 4 there, and I think it might have stacked up the field a little bit and sent this, and the 66 might have just gotten checked up and made a little bit of too much of an evasive maneuver there. Bit of a split strategy here down pit road. Some cars choosing to stay out, some cars coming down.
10 lap is a lot, so it should give a different advantage.
And we'll see how the tire wear sticks up around here because these tires haven't really been tested that much here. Looks like most of these cars are doing just a splash of fuel. A couple cars have taken 4 tires.
I mean, if you do that a couple of times and you go for the long run, you might be able to cut a stop. There's multiple cautions there. And it's 66, let's see what happened.
Ani Starchev racing back, and she was 28th.
I'm kind of confused because she's on the outside there. So... She hit the wall?
No, she just tried to pit. Oh, she was way off the pit marker.
Huh. Did she have some kind of mechanical failure or something?
I don't know.
Because that is extremely weird to pit on lap 10 with visibly no damage and on the outside. Usually you'd wait until you get to the inside, and then you just. What a
Yeah.
weird thing to happen.
That was a bit of an odd move. Well, she's out of the race because of that.
Well, it's gonna be a much more of a strategy race now with the fuels being split with people that can get to really 190 after the end of the second run.
I believe the only one of the chase for the money cars to actually come down pit road there was Kathy Ableton Perez.
Doesn't have anything to lose, so it makes sense.
Yeah, she was already at the back anyway, so.
That 54 is still leading, so it's still gonna be an issue for those gals behind when we get going.
Yeah. We've gotten the 1 to go signal here, so.
Yeah, it might be might get shuffled out at the start here. We'll see, but
Yeah, we'll see. And it'll depend on how good the restart is from Hageman. Ellie, you got word on the 14?
Yeah, I'm hearing from the garage that the 14 had some kind of fuel leak, and something's going on with that car.
Well, that's very interesting. I mean, we saw that car hit the wall, pretty much on her own, but
yeah, it's still kind of surprising that she came down then. Cause I mean, it would have been a caution either way. Oh. And, yeah. Alright.
Alright, pace car will pull off here. We're going to go back to the green flag here from New Hampshire. Davis, Hageman, Kennedy, McCarran, Martell, the top 5, as we are back to green. And they're looking at 3 wide into turn 1. Look at Hageman.
You're tired of waiting. Be careful.
Oh, Davis retaliates! Oh my goodness,
Oh my
the 10 is
goodness.
upside down. The 26 of Morales. And that's a lot of damaged cars.
That was completely irresponsible. You don't. I get that they were impatient. I get they wanted to get going, but they could have just. They just didn't need to go 3 wide, especially at a restart. So your tires have cooled down a bit. You can't go take that You can't go take that chance of going to the outside where it's less grippy and just. Yeah. Oh god.
So many damaged cars from that. That was absurd.
That was a violent accident. A lot of
good cars taken out in that as well.
It's gonna be easier for the 12 now. How many money cars? I don't know how they're called.
Chase for the money cars.
Chase for the money cars are.
Well, Martell has a lot of damage. The 51 has quite a bit of damage. Looks like the 45 and the 12 are okay. 51, we'll see what she does. She retired.
I mean 50. No, 50. Okay, 51 didn't have. Wow.
I believe the 54 was definitely
Yeah.
involved.
I mean, the 54 was one of the 2 cars that started it. My opinion, the car at fault here.
Hageman pushed her wide. There might have been a little contact.
Yeah, there was I think the 54 clip the 81.
The 81 pushes the 54 out wide.
And look
the
at that. Yeah,
54
that's a 54 that just comes down the inside. Well, it was definitely not clear. And goodness, the 10. Man.
Robin Morales in the 26 as well.
That's an
I think the 25 got through that. Yeah, I believe she did. Well, we've had the big one here from New Hampshire. I can't tell if the 81 makes contact with the 54 before the corner.
The 54 comes down. The 54 comes down.
I know. I'm saying. I don't know if they made contact at like right here. Kind of hard to tell. See if maybe we can get an onboard from the 81.
I don't think she did.
No,
No,
they
she
didn't
didn't.
make contact. The 54 just kind of pulled wide.
Well, yeah. 54 had two wheels on the gray surface there on the outside, and that's a death sentence around here. God, we had almost 10 cars flying in that.
We have another
that
car
point.
blowing up.
Oh well.
It's Fitzmaurice, and she's done.
So they got 21 cars on the lead lap. Would imagine some of them have damage. Yeah.
Yeah, 21 cars are on the lead lap. 3 more still running.
And the 81 gets to wave around after all of that.
Yeah, the 81 gets the wave around because she's a lap car in between the top 10 here. Well, certainly an interesting. Certainly this race has taken a very interesting turn, as we're back green from New Hampshire. Takamoto Aya stayed out, so she is the leader.
Everybody made sure to not go 3 wide on this restart.
A lot of good cars have been taken out here, but there's still a lot of, cars that are... There's still a lot of good cars that are still in this race. And you got 3 of the drivers in the chase for the money still in the race, so the race is not over in any means, really. Ellie, you got word on what happened to the 38 at Fitzmaurice?
Yeah, so it looks like whatever damage she got, it ended up taking out her engine and was just too much for the car to sustain. They had to take her out.
Hazelhart appears to have received a penalty. So the 16 car has come down pit road. Takamoto Aya, a driver who's been very good at these short tracks, up front now in that 11 car. Tammy Bird sits second. There's Zoe Quinn in third. Madison Estrada's fourth. Battle for fifth is here between Chistina and Jones. Chistina will clear Jones. 7th place now at stake between Kennedy and Reynolds.
And now what's gonna be very interesting is seeing how the lap traffic will develop throughout this race if we don't get any more cautions, because we'll probably get some considering the amount of damage some of these cars have.
Yeah.
As 12
slips a little wide. 9th place, Bridget Brousseau in that 46, and then the 10th place battle is between Schultz and Connie. There's still 24 cars left in the race, so we have not taken out half the cars before halfway.
For the moment.
Yeah, for the moment.
We're on lap 23, so wait a bit before saying that.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Tammy Bird in the 84 car. And she'll get clear of Aya.
She seemed pretty quick. Get past the top 2 in a few laps after the restart. Usually that's a good sign of a car that's got the pace to be up front. It seems like the top three may be pulling away a little bit at this point.
And
Car battle for the race leader.
Bird missed the race last week in Memphis.
Well, yep, that happens. I mean, you can't make them all, definitely.
Yeah, that car is pretty down low in owner points. She's catching the lap car of Hageman here. The 81 got waved by on the restart, but that car is pretty clearly not up to the pace.
The 81 will have sustained major damage after that wreck, probably. Probably some engine damage, which is really the worst kind of damage you can have around here.
We have received word that Brenda Davis has been called to the AWSCO hauler after the race, so they clearly believe that there was some sort of intent in that incident.
I mean, I can see it. I wouldn't penalize for it, because like she's on the complete outside on a restart because she's been pushed there. Well, not physically pushed there, but like, yeah, she was forced there basically. And,
she was forced to the outside.
Yes. So.
But I don't think that gives her an excuse to wreck a car and then wreck like 15 cars with it.
I don't know if she didn't like. There's a very. It's not a strong case, but there's a very real case that could be made that I just sort of lacked grip and lost a bit of control of my car, and it was the only way I could. And at 11 now, starting to hold up the
82.
11 doesn't seem up to pace now.
Yeah, Aya looks a bit off the pace right now. Quinn's trying to make up a little bit of pace here. She goes to the inside on the 11 here. As she looked to the inside in turn 1, but not going to be able to do anything quite yet. Still three cars that are left in the chase for the money battle. Jackie Kennedy leads that battle. She's 9th. Kathy Ableton Perez is actually the second car, though, is in 13th, and the 45, Eliz Roberts, looks like she has a bit of damage. She's sitting back at 19th.
Yeah.
So that's gotta be interesting that 12 is shuffling back though as the points are as the race is going along here. So it'll be interesting to see maybe after the pit cycle if that continues. Might have an actual battle for that little inter-season championship there. The 82 really needs to get going now.
And she's going.
Yeah, there we go.
She's going to the inside on Aya.
I was gonna say, otherwise the 88 could have tried something. The 88 will probably still try something, and whoop, at 11. Good outside, even though it won't work because that's not really how this racetrack works. Still putting up a good fight. Yeah. The 6 now involved in this battle, and the force coming back. So man, the 11 really could have ruined everything. The 88 got behind the 11 for some reason. Can't exactly see why would have happened. Now that it'll be interesting. Now that the 82 passed the 11, will it be able to pull away easily, like the 84 did? And in that case, we might see some 2-car domination here. Because looking at the 11, really aggressive with the blocking there.
Mila Chistina in the 6 car. She's a teammate to Aya in the 11. Now that 6 car has won a race earlier this year back at Bristol, but not with the same driver. Cara Reynolds is showing her case up here now. Kennedy's also battling with making some position battles up here as Cassidy Jones slips back.
And yeah, that's well, the 82 not pulling away quite as easily as the 84 did, so that's yeah, probably not going to be a great getaway. However, if you do look at the positions right now, we probably have a bunch of cars that don't have the pace to be where they are, that are just there because of the sort of a squash effect that happened when everybody joined that front of the pack a couple of laps ago now, as the 88 washes up the racetrack.
And she went really wide.
It's usually not a good sign of being able to stay up front for very long.
Chistina got pushed out of line, and Cara Reynolds has taken that spot away from her.
6 doesn't seem to be very quick as well. I think she's saved right now by the fact that there was a battle right behind her that made it so there was a bit of space. There's a
Bird is
overtake for third.
Bird is kind of still stuck behind the 16 right now, but she's not too slow. Battle for third is the 95. Reynolds trying to take it away from Aya.
Well, being stuck behind a lap car isn't necessarily a problem because it usually means everyone behind will also be stuck behind a lap car. Or at least everyone that's in the same conditions. So that 82 will probably be who? That was.
Oh, it's the
something
12. That was the 12 getting out of shape.
But that could have been big for that cash battle. Now we're getting to almost lap 50, almost a quarter of the race done. They're still early in their fuel run here, which is interesting enough. Because of the 2 pit stops, they're gonna. Because of the 2 pit stops, I wonder if somebody might try to push it. Because now it's bringing the sort of maximum logical pit window for the second stop, like lap 195, something like that. Which very interesting what might happen.
I think we might see them. I think it's more likely they're going to short pit because the tire wear is starting to kick in now. You're starting to see they're running about a second or so off their fast laps right now. So.
Well, I think that those cars, there are damaged cars that are near the top 10 or in the top 10. So I think that those cars that probably can't fight for the race win, they'll want to try something different in strategy-wise, because otherwise they'll just slowly fade away as the race goes on.
Russia?
Yeah, just a few reports here on that big wreck we had earlier. We saw it was the 10 and 26 who had the biggest hits, I think. I think the 10 ran into the 54 of Davis, and then the 26... I'm not sure if the 26 ran into the 10 or not, but whatever happened from that, we saw that the 26 ended up taking a vicious front roll, and the 10 also went airborne quite a bit. We can report that the 26 of Robert Morales has been checked and released from the care center. So good to know there. The driver of the number 10, Charlie McCarran, has been transported to a local hospital for further evaluation. We'll see for further updates on Charlie there, hoping for the best for the driver of the number 10.
Well, I think that only strengthens the case against Davis, but we hope that
Yeah, definitely.
we hope that Charlie is okay.
I mean, I feel like if there's something there, it's gonna be pretty hard to not want to penalize somebody just because of just because of really public view of this. I think that look, personally, I wouldn't penalize, but I understood how it would seem bad to not penalize and maybe set a bad precedent, except
Yeah.
it's really not.
Keep in mind, McCarron is Davis's teammate as well, so.
Yes, that's the thing there. That's what. That's what makes me a bit perplexed here. It's just doesn't seem like a good idea. Is 84 catching in more lap traffic.
The
Isn't
81
that
is
the
getting.
second time?
That is the second time they've lapped the 81 car.
Alright, the 81's a mobile chicane here. So that's good to know.
Yeah, the 81's not having a great time right now.
Yeah. I'm surprised it wasn't some kind of I'm surprised the team didn't pull her out of the car just for a medical check here. I'm not the doctors here, so.
Yeah. Reynolds fighting with Quinton here for the second spot. 95 looking to the inside. These two are starting to close in on the 84 a little bit now. And I wonder if Reynolds may have a little bit more pace in her than Bird does. Or, say,
Yeah.
Chestina.
Yeah, that 95's been gaining since the restart. Well, since the other restart. Really? So it's gonna be interesting. I think that it's not gonna be any threat soon. This isn't. I mean, this is the kind of racetrack where you can gain a bunch of time very quickly, but it's not. It's not like a usual short track when you.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, especially with the pressure from the 82 and the fact that the 84 and 82 are both teammates.
Yeah. I mean, Quinton's going to be on the 95 for quite a bit here.
Well, yeah, being right behind and putting pressure is one thing, overtaking's another. I don't think the 82's got it in her to overtake.
Yeah. The 16 of Hazelhart, by the way, is still in front of the 84. She's not been passed by the 84. So
what she really wants is a caution there.
yeah, she would like a caution flag to come out. Izzy Oberman back here in the 93 car has moved up to 7th.
So, and I think that 16 might be helping a little bit the 84. Just giving her a little bit of draft here.
I think
draft is not an extremely important factor, but it still plays a bit of a role as it does in
every Inverness racing car is actually still in the race right now.
Good for them.
Which is pretty good for them considering they're second in the team's title. And the first place team in the team's title, Hokkaido Velocity, 64 is out of the race. The 0 car is well back in 17th right now. So this is an opportunity for Inverness to make up some ground, especially because they have 3 of their 4 cars in the top 10. Justina's sitting 4th, Overman 7th, Schultz 10th, and Aya in 14th. As Overman tries to make up a spot on Brosseau here for 6th.
They have to be careful here. That the tire wear is gonna start affecting them quite a bit if it hasn't already. And then it's probably going to be very hard to start making overtakes, except if the other car makes a mistake. And if when you make a mistake, it's going to be extremely hard to catch it.
Yeah.
It's really the kind of racetrack, this flat, not short track, but almost short track like. Not road course, speedway. It's really the kind of places where it's extremely hard to overtake when you're just in a single file out and everybody's on the same tire strategy.
I mean, this track does have a road course. It does have a road course layout.
Yes, it's an experience, but it does have a road course. Yes.
Everyone's mostly single filed out right now, though. I think everyone's just trying to run laps right now. Just trying to get some laps off the board here.
Yeah. I mean, those cars at the back are fighting for their lives, not trying to
Try not to get lapped.
overtaken. Yeah, but everyone that doesn't have damage right now is just taking it chill. There's no need. It's up 57. And we already saw what happened when you push it too much.
Yeah.
At this racetrack. So you wouldn't want a second big one with 10 cars remaining.
46 almost caused a wreck there. Nearly got into the 88.
I think maybe a spin. I don't think that would have been a full-on wreck.
That would have probably been a spin, yeah. Maybe you would have sent the 88 into the inside wall.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. Reynolds has been slowly gaining time on the 84. The gap was 4 seconds earlier. It's now down to 3.2.
I wonder if the 84 might be saving fuel here. Or
34,
saving tires.
84 could be saving some stuff here. Just because...
Well, because why not? You have a 3-second advance. There's no...
Yeah.
A 3 or 4 or 5 second is the same difference, really.
There's Lulu battling with Oberman for 8th. This is something that I was kind of told. You know, talking with Lulu in terms of owning her own team in LSCI. She said, you know, some weeks that she's just not had the pace, she just hasn't been up to it. And then there's just like a couple weeks of the year where Lulu just has incredible pace. And I think we're kind of seeing that here as well. The 44 qualified second. She's run top 10 all day so far. And I think you got to give it a lot of praise to Lulu. You know, she's struggled quite a bit this season. She's last of all the full-time drivers in the point standings, but she's doing a pretty good job for herself here in New Hampshire, and maybe this will be the start of something for her.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if that 44 fixes her damage when she comes down. Because she does seem to have quite a bit of pace here. She's able to keep it in the top 10 while having quite a bit of damage. So if she gets fixed that damage, she might lose a bit of positions, but I think she's probably going to be able to gain them back.
Bird has gotten past Azelhart, so the 16 has now dropped the lap down. But if there's a caution, the 16 would still be in the position to get the free pass.
And the 95 is not gaining anymore.
95 has stopped gaining, and I think the 16 was kind of holding the 84 up just a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
A couple teammates fighting back here, Vinny Schultz and Izzy Oberman for the 9th spot.
Okay, that 12's just outside the top 10. I was wondering where it was. That battle for money, which is pretty important for these not lesser drivers, but younger drivers, or some of them aren't necessarily that young. Just drivers with with less sponsors and less money in general.
Yeah, and that's something that could easily help them, especially for, this 12 car Gulf Racing. This 12 car has been pretty solid all season. Comes in 16th in owner points, and Kennedy is right on that cut line. She came in 3 points back of the cut line for the playoffs.
She's probably gonna get in the playoffs after this race, considering where's the 59 at?
I think the 59 is out of the race.
Probably, yeah. I haven't seen anything from her.
Oh yeah, she DNQ'd. That's right.
Oh, well, that's gonna be... Oh, 3 wide, you need to be careful here. Luckily, they seem to keep it relatively fine in terms of 3 wide in turns 3 and 4.
They're getting all over the place. Reynolds is starting to lose time again.
I mean, I think these, when they're in that big pack here, it's kind of hard to not overtake, because when somebody in front of you does a mistake, you gotta get to the inside. Otherwise, you're gonna do that mistake as well. Oh, and
Their 84's caught the 81 again.
Being incredibly held down by the 81.
Well, I think that's something as well. Is Kennedy's in a good position, but keep in mind that the 84, this driver has not won this season. She's only run 5 races this season. She's only attempted 5 races this season because she came in as a replacement for Casper von Weber.
It's gonna be, definitely interesting. Because if that car makes if that car makes the playoffs, that would be 2 cars that came in way
as a
later in the
mid-season
season
replacement
and made it into the playoffs. Is battling a lot of lap traffic here, but not
trying to get through the
that
lap
much
traffic.
time. That's the interesting part here. 84 dealing relatively well with the lap traffic. Oh, and a 95 here, getting held up behind the 81 like that. That's not.
Yeah. That's gonna hurt.
That actually, if it lasts for more than a corner, might bring the 82 back in. Well, it won't, so that's good. What's the pace difference between that 81 and the rest of the field? It seems really high.
81 is ran a 31.6 last time by, compared to the 84 who ran a 30.5.
Okay, that's a second per lap.
That's a second per. That was a 1 second difference. Now keep in mind the 81 was also being passed that last lap, so.
Well, she was being passed on the outside of a turn, so it's not like it made that much difference. But yeah. All right. Lap 72. We're getting closer to pit stops. About 20 laps. Tires completely.
95 did gain that time.
And
how about Lulu in 5th place now with that 44 car?
That's incredible. That is incredible. And
I think another car.
I think that 44 has been the quickest car on the racetrack since the restart. Kind of makes you wonder. Now that the 44 is gonna be in, well, now if she passes the 6, she's gonna be
in clean air. Yeah.
That could be very interesting.
7 seconds is a lot, definitely makeable, and what, 128 lap, 26 lap.
Yeah, we're not far from that pit window either, so We could see green flag stops fairly soon. Battling back here, that's Chistina, Connie, and Overman all vying for the 4th position. You see the 44 has a little bit of a caved-in hood there, but
Yes.
doesn't seem to be hurting her really at all. Reynolds has pulled out about 2 seconds on Quinton.
Yeah, the 82 got really held up. Yeah, with the lap traffic there.
Tammy Bird, though, took the lead, and she has driven away. She has dominated so far.
I mean, yeah, but she hasn't really gained much time. It's not. To me, it's more of a domination per default. It doesn't seem like she is incredibly faster than some of these other cars in the field. She was just the first car to get in clean air at the restart. And
Well, I think what helped her was
Pulled
that she had a
away.
car that was slower than her, holding on to second for a while until the 95 was able to get by.
yeah,
And once you have that clean air, it's still kind of hard to make that ground up.
well, yeah, because the rhythm are somewhat the same when you're in clean air. There's not like the way you gain time here is through mistakes, which you can't
Yeah.
really make if you're in clean air. Well, you can make them, but it's if you make them while you're in clean air, then usually you're at the back of the field and not not running for the race lead.
"77 laps complete here from New Hampshire. From 4th on back, it's been a pretty interesting race here, to be fair. There's been a lot of battling, there's been a lot of shuffling, but... Oh, the 93 has just blown up! Well,
Luckily, she'll be able to get down pit lane, so we won't have a caution, which would have changed everything. It's not even gonna have that much effect on the actual field there.
no, she pulled down right away.
So unfortunate for the 93, but
Unfortunate for
Oh, wow.
Oberman, yeah. The driver who has 3 wins this season.
yeah, she's not really in need of these drivers that have multiple. Well, I think she's the only driver with multiple wins.
Correct, she's the only driver
Uh,
with multiple wins this season.
Yes, like these drivers that are up there in the points and have a win, they don't really need to do anything.
Ellie?
Yeah, we're getting reports from the pit that the gearbox is what caused that main issue with the engine there.
Gearbox issue here. I mean, I guess you could be shifting into the corners a little bit, although it looks like most of these drivers, telemetry-wise, are staying in 4th, but...
Well, could be some long-term failure after the accident happened. I don't know why the 93 wasn't there, but
yeah.
if she had to check up very quickly, that might have put a fatal strain on the gearbox. Especially in these cars that are not made to shift up and down very quickly.
Well, the 95 is starting to gain a lot now. The 84 was 3.4 seconds a little bit ago. It's now down to 2.87. So Reynolds has started to close in quite a bit.
I'm wondering if the 95 is just not gonna conserve at all and gonna come down as soon as possible while the 84 is trying to. Well, nope, she's losing time this time, guys.
She lost time that time, yeah. Connie's looking for the spot on Tristina here. So, for Inverness Racing, remember how I said all 4 of their cars were still in the race after that wreck? Well, that is no longer the case because the 93's retirement.
Yeah. At least the 93 will not get that far down in the order. She'll only end up like 24th.
Anderson sitting 9th here, fighting with Reina Munoz for 10th. And Jackie Kennedy is sitting back with this group. There's Madison Estrada. There's Kathy Ableton Perez, who's just hanging on to this group. You know the crazy thing about Kathy Ableton Perez is she has 2 laps led this entire season, and she has a win in one of those. And she has a win.
I mean, that's that can happen. You know, good combination of luck and being there at the right time.
There's Bridget Brousseau trying to take a spot from Connie. 46 on the 44. Two yellow flags so far in this one. 66 Ivani Starchev ran into the pit wall on lap number 9, and then on lap number 14, when we had the restart, Brenda Davis hooked Alice Hageman into the wall, and it caused about a 20-car melee on the back straightaway.
Hey,
They've been caution-free since then.
Kenny is in a good spot right now to maybe have her best finish of the year, because currently her best finish is a 10th place.
Jeez.
That was in Nazareth.
Yeah, that was race number 3.
Yeah, and that's her only
That's her only top 10 of the season. Here comes Vinny Schultz trying to pass Brousseau. And the 84 is down pit road.
So 84 burned her stuff up, and
Jones is in. There's Aya. I think the 84 came in here because she stayed out on the last caution. So I think it's partially that she didn't fuel up.
I thought everybody came in on the last caution.
No, a couple cars stayed out. I know Aya stayed out. That was how she got the lead.
Alrighty then.
Bird coming back out.
And she's gonna come back.
She is a lap
right
down.
That's good. She's coming down in. Well, she's coming back out in clean air for the moment. And look at that. See, when you're with bad tires, you really need the draft to make an overtake. And now there you go. There was a car right in front to give a draft to these two. And that's how the 44 finally gets it done. For
14.
Virtual 5th place. Oh.
Saw the 14 come in. 82 of Quinn's coming in. She also hit at the same time as the 84, so... Noticing the 44 is running pretty much with the 84, so I don't think the tires are wearing out that much.
That's interesting. I would have expected the tires to wear out a bit, considering the kind of track this is.
Yeah.
I guess, thank you, Goodyear, or whoever makes the tires in this series.
Connie's in. 44 is going to be in. 55, 62 are all coming in. Back here, all those cars still choosing to stay out. Now, I'm curious, Cara Reynolds, if the tires aren't really making up that much ground in terms of old versus new, how much time can the 95 have gained on the 84 here by staying out long like that? Justina's in.
I don't think... Probably not that much, I would imagine. Considering that they were both already in clean air.
Yeah. So
This was not that long of a pit cycle. I would have expected it to be bigger. It was only like 6-7 laps.
Brousseau comes in, so that leaves the 7 of Munoz as the leader here. Look and see if we can find where the 84 is compared to the 95. There's the 95 coming out of pit road right there. There's the 84.
95 doesn't seem to have gained time. Oh, maybe.
I think the 95 did gain a little bit. Let's see. No, it looks like the gap's actually larger. It's about 4 seconds now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Anderson
However,
is still out there, still staying out here.
Four
16 of
seconds,
Azelhart.
maybe 4 seconds, maybe a larger gap, but it's not that larger. And maybe there's a possibility on the last cycle that she gains it back by
16, I believe, is 16 of Azelhart here is trying to like stay out long and hope that she gets a caution to keep her on the lead lap. 22 and 0.
Unlikely. Except for that one.
Well, she is the leader right now because of this.
Hey, is that an extra point in this series? I forget.
It is.
There you go. That's an extra point at least.
And she's gonna come in now.
So she's 69 points back to cutoff. She needs every point she can get. So
Yeah. 81's coming in here as well. So that will leave 84, 95, 82. The gap's about where it was beforehand.
44 lost ground on the pit stops.
Looks like the 88 of Estrada's fallen a lap down back in this group.
Interesting. I wonder what happened there. Did she get a penalty or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because it's, yeah. I mean, she didn't have damage, so she wouldn't have stayed down to fix damage. Well, the 12 got a really good pit stop out of this.
Yeah, Kennedy gained a lot of ground, and she might actually take 4th spot here from Chistina. And yeah, she's going to pin the 6 car behind the lap car, the 81, actually. And actually, maybe not.
Well, no, she will, but she's going to get stuck behind the 81 now.
Here comes the 44 as well, going deep into the corner here.
Need to be careful.
I don't think they were
'Cause,
careful, but
Yeah. They weren't, but yeah,
they lived.
they lived, so that's the important part at least.
Oh, 84 really got squirrely off the corner there. Reynolds has already brought the gap down to 3 seconds. 2.83 now.
I think this will be a good test to see what the tire fall difference is.
Yeah.
Once they both get past those lap cars and get in free air. There's what, a 5 lap difference in terms of tires between those two?
Yeah, something like that. Kennedy, the first car. Kennedy is sitting 4th now in that 12. 04 has just come down pit road, so that actually is going to help the 95 a lot. There's Quinton sitting back in third. Kennedy fourth, with Connie behind in fifth. This is where the action is, so I'm gonna stay here. Unless we get a battle for the lead. And yeah, Reynolds gained another half a second. Or half a tenth, excuse me. Or another tenth.
Wow, that was slid all the way down, all the way up the racetrack for the 35.
Yeah.
It was, battle continues, but 12's kind of pulling away now, so that means possible.
There's the 95 trying to get by the 14 here, and wow, look at the 95. She's really gaining. She's gained 4/10 that lap. All right, well, we're past halfway. We reached lap 100 in this race. Only 2 yellows. We've been green for quite a while in this one. We're gonna take you down to the FanDuel Fin Studio here for our mid-race report as Tammy Bird leads Cara Reynolds, Zoe Quinton, Jackie Kennedy, and this mess for 5th. All right, Rasha Ellie, you two, take it away.
Yeah, welcome back to the studio, everyone. We're here in lap 105 right now, and the caution has immediately come out. We didn't even get to the handoff. We got to the handoff, and you got a caution already. I'm not sure where. I think there was a car that broke down, actually. There may have been a car that had a mechanical issue. The 80. Well, actually, it's the 81.
Whoops.
Someone might have ran into her, or she might have just blown up. I have no idea. Well, we'll take a look at the replay here. We see the 81 smoking. You can see her stopped on that inside line. Careful, Tammy Bird. Looks like everyone managed to stay out of the way, but yeah, I think if we can rewind a bit further back, I think that would be useful. No, the 81 is already blowing up, so whatever was broken on that car seemingly broke even more. Well, we still haven't gotten a crash since that massive second caution. This last one coming out for the stricken number 81 of Alice Hageman. Engine went off on that one. And because of that, we'll have to send it under yellow here just to clean up all that all the fluids that the 81 may have possibly left on the track. Good time though to kind of look around and see how things are going. We just finished our first green flag pit stop cycle. Obviously, the 84 and 95 came out in the same order that they came in. They were both in the both of them were in first. Both of them, I think, were in first and second. Not much change between the two right now, and we'll see if anybody comes in. I don't think anybody will. I think we'll expect quite a few. There's quite a few lap cars in the way. I'd expect. Well, the 14 will get the wave around. We'll get the free pass. 16 and 42 will get waved around. 88 will also get waved around. Plenty of cars will be getting one of their laps back. Actually, most of them will be back on the lead lap. But yeah, so far with the green flag racing, I mean, long run. You've had quite the long run to kind of study and the habits of the drivers here. We have seen that these drivers do tend to stay on the upper part of the progressively banked part of the track. Obviously, the inside part of the track almost has no banking. We mentioned that earlier. You'll see here as we head into the corner, you'll see that darker pavement. That's the part we're talking about. That's the progressively banked part of the track. Obviously, most of the time, you're gonna be sitting either in the middle of that where it's slightly lighter, or up high where it's most banked. That's kind of the Goldilocks zone. You don't really want to be on the inside. Not enough banking there to maintain your momentum. And that's kind of been the way things have been going in that first part of the race. So definitely a lower to kind of a lower line, not quite on the apron, but definitely a low line track, especially with how wide this track is. Lots of room to push cars to the outside.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to watch. It looks like their fuel window was about like 88, 89 laps. I think that was our first green flag pit cycle, and it didn't really change anything. I think the long run racing has been nice to watch. You know, after that big mess, which was absolutely insane. It's been nice to kind of just see them all kind of drive in a single line and try and make smart little moves to pass each other. I've been eyeing the 95. She looks really fast. What about you?
Yeah, the 95 has looked pretty fast. Obviously had a big gap to catch the 84 that's been erased now, so that should really work to the 95's favor as we await some of the extra wave rounds here. There's 16, 42, and 88. Definitely be among those. Not sure if there's anybody else in that. But yeah, obviously the 95 has been quick. We'll see what the 82 can do. The 82 was pretty quick at the beginning. 82 of Quinton was pretty quick as well, but fell quite a bit back in that in the long green flag run. Kind of lost a lot of time. We'll see what that 82 team's been able to do and fix up on the green flag cycle as we're heading back underway. Green flag racing back at New Hampshire Motor Speedway to start lap 110. Watch out for that 12 of Jackie Kennedy. That's our clash for the money leader right now. Looking around as the 82 of Quinton makes a dives to the inside of the 95, immediately trying to make it a Uberon 1-2 right now. Sliding up though, the outside is strong on entry here, but you can gain a lot of speed on the exit of turn 4. As we see the 82 do just that, they'll still be side by side. This is going to let the 84 run away a little bit. 95 slides up to the top of the progressive banks part of the turns. And this is the kind of racing we've been seeing. It's taken quite a bit of work to get around any car, really.
Yeah.
Because the turns, depending on the line you run, they each have their strong points in the turn. As we saw again there. The 82 lost a lot of ground on entry, gained it back on exit. We'll see what she can do now with the push of the 12 of Jackie Kennedy. But making moves here oftentimes, especially if you're at the front of the field, takes quite a bit of time to make happen.
Yeah, this track looks like it's been really hard to just try and make anything really stick. The 84's kind of had...
Watch out here.
Ooh.
3 wide action.
Wide right now.
3 wide action, but they get it done.
They're fine.
They'll be okay. Good work by Reynolds to defend from that. We'll finally clear the 82. The 12 now looks to the inside for a third. And she's really hasn't had much of a challenge for the cash bonus since the big one.
Oh.
46 of Bridget Brosseau now, looking to the inside of Quinton, trying to find a way around. But yeah, all that's given Tammy Bird about a 3/4 of a second advantage over the 95 of Cara Reynolds again.
Yeah, it's kind of... A lot has just been working in her favor the entire race, it seems. I mean, she's had clean air pretty much the entire race as well.
Yeah, clean air definitely helps here. This is that kind of track this is the kind of racetrack where track position really does matter. As we're seeing here, this is a battle for 6th place, I think, between the 55 and 6, and then you got all sorts of other cars, 62, 4, 35, 22, and I think the 44 as well. Good work. Good race so far for the 44 of Luana Connie, it has really been dragging that RGB Racing Honda up, running in the top 10 all day. As we see the 95 now catching up. Now that she's free of the 12 and 82's attack, she's really gained time on the 84 here.
Wow. Yeah.
Obviously, the 95 came in a little later, so she has a few lap newer tires, a little bit of extra tire life maybe to try to work her way past the 84 here. Would be a good time to use that extra life. 84 though, holding strong in the middle.
She is right on her doorstep.
95 might try to look to the inside here. Not yet. She is right on the bumper. Maybe try to make a move somewhere else. Looking to the inside on exit. Here we go. Yeah, using the extra grip on the exit there. Just able to launch a little bit better than the 84. She'll have the inside in 1 or 2 here. 84 runs way up high. That should give the 95 enough time to clear, and there you go. New leader 95 of Reynolds taking the top spot now.
It's been interesting to watch the top 3 especially. They've all been so competitive.
And just like that, the 95's run wide, and that's let the 84 right back on her bumper. We do expect at least one more pit cycle for fuel here. At least for fuel. I think they seem to be working on that as a basis for their strategy. As we see the 82 there get around the 12 of Jackie Kennedy. We do expect this to be this top 4 or 5 to kind of just stay as they are, given how important track position matters. Unless there's a major shakeup by some sort of other accident.
Yeah.
I think we do expect this these cars up front right now to be the main contenders for the win. Speaking of, that's a good time to move to our fan pick segment here. Looking at the way things are right now, I'd say there's at least 3 cars that I'd say that are real contenders for the win right now. I think it's that top 3 have been really quick, and I think have the pace to win. It'll definitely come down to that last pit cycle. Who do you think's going to be able to outsmart everyone on that last pit cycle?
Well, when it comes to more so luck and not necessarily outsmarting the other drivers, it's been the 84. But when it comes to strategy, I like the 95. So I'm kind of split between the two, and I'm also split between the 82. But I think I'm going to stick with the 95. She looks really fast. She's been fast the entire race. I'm going to stick with her.
Yeah, good decision, I think. Given that the 95, well, I guess the 95 was definitely was a major recipient of the caution. I wonder what would have happened if we didn't have that caution, and the 84 was able to really leverage the undercut that she had from that first cycle. But I'm gonna go with the 12 of Jackie Kennedy here. Actually, I think the number 12 Samsung Chevrolet here has been right up there on pace with the top 2. Obviously, Tammy Bird's had the best of track position, but now that she's lost the clean air up at the front, we might start to see her tumble down a little bit. 12 car is roughly on the same strategy as the 95 is, and even that she has that extra motivation to obviously keep her spot up here. She might try to maybe go for the double here. Maybe try to win the race and get the extra cash bonus. And staying in the top 4 will obviously get her eligibility for the next race in the next race as well. So look for Jackie Kennedy, I think, to try to go for the win at the end here, as these cars are starting to make their way up their first lap car. Right, with that out of the way, we'll wrap up our mid-race report now. We'll be throwing it back over to the booth with Echo and Ludovic now. Well, they'll have their own picks as well, and we'll see you guys for the rest of the race.
Yeah, Lou, do you got a pick?
I mean, I think it's gonna be somebody in the lower top 10 that's gonna pull a strategy move. Probably come down way early, because they don't really have that much to lose, and I mean, why not, hey? I'm gonna go with whatever, the 35, let's say, Krista Anderson.
Alright, interesting pick. Well, I'm gonna go with the Bridget Brousseau in the 46. She ran really well last week in Memphis, but she had that issue late that cost her a chance at the win. I think she's hungry. I think she's a little upset. I think I'm going to go with Bridget Brousseau to take the race victory here at New Hampshire. She's been really fast ever since stepping in this car. 3 top 10s in her first 5 starts. Overall, that 46 is one that is very fast, and I think that she's going to continue to be very fast in that car. Well, Tammy Bird.
at what point do these drivers start to push and not really try to hold on and just because you know since the second restart, with the exception of that last restart, they've all been pretty quiet. They've all been waiting and like patiently. I don't
think
know how long this.
I
this is
think we're gonna
last.
see them start pushing around once we cycle into once we make that last pit stop. I think that's when we're gonna see it start to get a little more hectic.
Because what I was thinking is that they don't seem like they're gonna space out that much, except for maybe the top three that seems to be pulling away a bit. So I think that what will probably happen is the gals at the back will start pushing way earlier, and so it's gonna send everybody pushing because otherwise they won't get in a good position. Right? That might actually benefit them in the long run if everybody outside of the top three starts pushing all together.
Krista Anderson fighting with Mila Chestina for position. How about Cassidy Jones running up into 6th spot now? She's having a pretty solid run, and this is something that Jones has really needed because she has struggled quite a bit. Aside from her second place finish at Nazareth, since her second place finish at Nazareth, she just has 2 top 10s since then, and one of those was another second place finish in Michigan.
I mean,
Tammy
the
Byrne-
thing is that
Go ahead.
she doesn't need a good run. She needs a win because she's too far back. She can't really get in the playoffs without
Yeah.
a win. So I mean, it's cool for her, but I don't know. It's not enough.
Tammy Bird really has dropped quite a bit.
Yep, that's what we were expecting, right? It didn't seem she wasn't gaining time. She wasn't especially that impressive while being ahead. She just got lucky with the positioning of where she was when that restart happened. It makes sense. I would expect her to settle somewhere like fringe top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that the 82's has been able to keep up here.
I think a lot of these cars just made some adjustments, and I think that Bird just hasn't really caught up on those adjustments. Because ever since we went back green, the 84 just hasn't really been able to
You can see
keep up.
it in the corners, right? It's a bit looser than other cars, so yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you need a certain degree of,
Yeah, you
you
can
need a
have your
certain
car
degree
too
of that
stiff,
here, especially here. But
but
you can't have
when
it be
compare
too.
to
You
the
can't have
other
it
cars,
too
it's
much.
not. I think that might have been, part of what affected her first run. I think she might have gotten a bit worse tire wear than other cars because
Yeah.
she the car's a bit too loose.
Reynolds out front. Remember, Carl Reynolds led a good chunk of the race in 5 flags a few weeks ago, but never was able to finish off the job, and she ended up finishing second, ironically, to Zoe Quinton, who sits 4th in this race. Jackie Kennedy is 2nd. Bridget Brousseau 3rd, Zoe Quinton 4th, as I already mentioned, and Cassidy Jones now up to the 5th spot. That's your 5 drivers that are in the spots to get into the chase for the money next week at Chicagoland. 3rd race of that chase next week at that pretty interesting 1.5-mile track. It's a track that hasn't really been used at all for a while. Obviously, NASCAR making their return there with the Cup Series next year, but The Continental Series is going to stop by there. Just the Continental Series is stopping in Chicagoland. The Cup Series will not be in Chicago.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's a racetrack. I won't pretend it's my favorite, but you know, it's something different, and I think that's good, and that's why it's on the Continental Series, because Continental Series is also for weirder tracks that you wouldn't necessarily see with teams that actually have a lot of money. So it's pretty interesting. That farlighting to push a bit that 95 here, putting a bit of pressure. That's kind of weird. Oh, the 12 keeping up with that 95. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
We didn't. She was kind of getting farther and farther back before that caution at that that pit cycle especially. Before that, she was really staying back, and now she's I mean, she's in the money dash, so
Yeah.
she might be able to gain quite a bit of that.
She's racing for that cash bonus.
The entitlement program.
She's you know, her next competition is in 14th and 17th. But as long, even so, you know, even if you win the chase for the money, that doesn't mean you're automatically in unless you finish in the top 5. You still gotta finish. You still gotta finish.
Well, she's doing that right now. So.
Yeah, you still gotta finish in the top 5, which she's doing. So she's still maintaining pretty solid position. Bird has slipped back to 7th place now as Andresen has gotten by the 84. She may drop to 8th as the 6 car runs up on her. NordVPN fastest lap at the moment, Zoe Quinton in the 82. She's maintaining that right now.
I think the 12 was fine with not winning today, because the 95.
95 is already ahead of the cut line.
Yes. So that would still put her in the cut line, and
Yeah.
yes, money's good, but I think being able to fight for the championship, which brings more money, is better.
Yeah.
And the 59's out of the race, so it's gonna be very interesting. I will say for her, Kennedy's gonna have to push this week. Yes, next week also, and more importantly, because
Yeah.
if she's on the cut line, it's not gonna be a very safe spot. There's probably gonna be at least 1 or 2 winners outside of the top 10 before the end of this regular season, I would imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got more than 20 winners. And so the playoff field just got bumped up to include them all.
I would, I think I'd be unfortunate a bit. I like the drivers that don't win, but still have a bunch of points getting in. I think that's good. So, would be unfortunate to just see the playoff field be entirely drivers that won races, but hey.
Well, we do have a kind of thing going on like that in Cup right now, because Cup has been mostly repeat winners for a while.
I think that Cup is less, the field level is less important in Cup, so that might be part of why. Actually, it's more important. That's what I meant to say. Yes, in Continental.
In Continental, everyone's got pretty similar cars. They've all got spec cars,
Yeah.
so.
It doesn't really make a difference. So.
But in Cup, there's a pretty clear hierarchy in Cup, so.
Yes. It'll be interesting seeing what happens with the Continental Series in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be a big. I think it's basically gonna be a glorified trembling to guess who's in the next run, because, I mean, everybody's equal basically.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bit of a hierarchy, but it's not. It's not team based. It's really just driver based.
Kennedy has closed up quite a bit. Kennedy's there on Reynolds.
Yep. I don't know if she wants to overtake now. She might want to stay behind and conserve a bit if she doesn't lose time to the 95, which I don't think she's doing right now.
Vinny Schultz 10th right now. And for those drivers in the points positions right now. Drivers in the points positions right now, it's Moriyama, Schultz, Reynolds, and, well, coming in it was Buchanan, although right now it would be Kennedy. And if Reynolds wins this race, then she gets, she would obviously lock in. So that would just leave 3 drivers in those point spots.
I think Kennedy might try when they get to that lap car that's ad. I don't know what that is.
The 42.
Yeah. Might try then. Would be a spot that makes the most sense, because again, you need some kind of draft to make it overtake when the tires are burnt here and you're in clean air.
Yeah. Carl Reynolds trying to hold on. Reynolds has been really good all year. She's been consistent, and she's been good enough to be running for the win. She was very close to the win at Five Flags 2 weeks ago, but obviously had to settle for second there.
I mean, she has quite a bit of DNFs. I think that's the bigger issue here.
Well, everyone has a bit of DNFs, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the Continental Series.
Reynolds is going to get by the lap car here without much trouble. So if Kennedy was shooting for the lap car, it's not going to work. Birds drop back here to 7th. She's kind of being hounded by Chistina in the 6 car. Chistina's back here, so is Munoz and Schultz.
And it's surprising we don't get the same... Oof, that was very wide for the 82. Kind of surprising that we don't really seem to have the same midfield battle as we had before.
Yeah.
Like there's a few of them, but the positions really don't switch that much around. So it's
well, it's a lot more spread out here now in this run.
But we wouldn't expect that. But
Schultz going for 9th here on Munoz. She'll take that spot.
I mean, if I'm outside the top 10, now's the time I start to push. So I think we might see some more action starting to brew in the back.
See some more cars going after it back here, yeah. There's Kathy Ableton Perez. Again, she got into this race because she was on the chase for the money. She actually would not have made it under the normal provisional system, but because she was running for the chase for the money, she got a bye and was allowed to start in the last position. Which actually bumped at the 31 of Lori Ramirez, which I can't imagine Ramirez was too thrilled about. Because she would have made it any other week except for this week.
Well, the rules are the rules, and they change week to week. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's like how some tracks we see them do the whole, like, you're locked onto the lead lap if you pit thing.
Yeah, I won't go into my opinions on that here, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Reynolds.
think, yeah, the 12 is really losing time now. And I wonder if the 12 may be pushed a bit too hard trying to keep up with that 95. And then it really matters. It's not going to be finishing second or third for the 12 isn't
Pretty much, yeah.
a big deal.
82 goes really wide again. Jones is going to try to pull a move on her, but can't do it. Can't quite get there.
A4 losing spots now, down to 7th. Probably gonna get overtaken with a 6 and what was it, a 62?
That is the 62, yes.
Yeah, we haven't seen her in this race, I feel like. Yeah.
She's been up in the top 10 for most of it. Just kind of she's just been very quiet. Hasn't really made a lot of noise. The 6 and the 7 both around here. Chishina and Munoz. As well as the 62 of Schultz.
You wouldn't want the... No, I won't make that joke. Alright, 1 lap 60. And now...
160.
Yeah, the 12 is still losing.
Yeah, the 12's starting to lose ground now. 160, so I think the window opens here, although I don't imagine we're going to see cars come in for a bit.
I think everyone... Did everyone pit on that last caution?
No, nobody pitted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Man.
I'm not sure why nobody pitted, but nobody pitted the last yellow, so...
Well, I don't think that... I still don't think, because that... They pitted like lap, what, 80 something? 90 something?
Around 90. Around 90, 93, 90... Around 93 to 96 for most of these cars, aside from the cars that came in early, like the 84.
It's like... 70 laps.
I think we could see them in around lap 167, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's 60 laps.
I think it's around 75 laps.
Alright, well... Let's see how it goes. I'm very curious what the 12 will do. If I'm her, I would 100% undercut here.
I would try to do that as well. Although, honestly, if I'm the 12, maybe I might look into seeing if the overcut will work.
I mean...
Now that I think about it, because the tire wear isn't that major. She's not that far back from the 95 either.
I think it'll all depend on those next 5 laps here. If she continues losing time, then then the undercut's the best. If she is able to stay where she is or close in a little bit, the undercut could work.
Yeah.
But the undercut didn't necessarily work last time with the 95. She
It didn't work. It didn't work for a time. It didn't work when she... It didn't work immediately off the pit road, but it worked after. Like, she started running down the 84 after.
The issue is that the after will be very short here. You're coming to the end of the race.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering if it's if the overcuts.
Well, that's the thing, is that the 95 overcut, 4 car is in. Cassidy Jones has come down pit road. So the 4 car is the first taker here. She comes out 15.89 on that stop.
In the last The last pit cycle, pardon me, was what, 6 to 8 laps long.
Yeah, something
I
like
would've-
that.
So that this one will probably like 6. Well, probably like 8 to 12 or
Yeah.
8 to 14.
84 is coming in.
So
Tammy
you're
Bird.
really gonna see. I think that it's so long and out that you're really gonna see those tire differences, even if there's not that much tire fall off. 10 laps is a lot.
Yeah. Aya as well, the 11 car has come in. 14 just came in. 95 still out there. See who makes them. See if anybody else makes that move on a pit road, but it doesn't look like it will happen. How about Naomi Davenport sitting 10th right now? Again, this is another one of those races where Naomi Davenport has just gotten up here and she's just, she avoided the chaos and is managing to run up towards the top 10. It's ridiculous how often she strings the races like this together.
Quite incredible. That 44 was up top. Well, it was the top of the order for a while, and now she's not there at all.
Yeah, she's back in 11th right now, and
Very interesting.
cars on pit road. 95. Reynolds has just come down, so the 12 is going to try to the overcut here.
At 1.6 seconds. No, that's not.
The 46 is 1.6 seconds back.
Yeah, no.
That
Yeah, I
will
misread that.
that will be a bonus point for Kennedy as well. She'll get that lap lead.
It's always good.
I believe Quentin's coming down. 82 car.
Even though-
Here's where the 4 of Jones is.
I think what's going to be very important for the 12 is that the 95 comes out in traffic.
Yeah, and it looks like that's exactly what the 95 has done, is she's
Yeah.
come out in a little bit of traffic here. 12 and the 46 are in. 62's coming in now. Krista
Oh, that's
Andresen
good.
is the leader now in the 35 car.
Basically, all the important cars have come in now, so it's good. So we won't get pit stop shenanigans or something like that. I mean, pit caution shenanigans, pit stop shenanigans is what we're getting right now. Alright.
12 car, I believe, just got jumped by the 46. Looks like some cars took 2 tires, actually. Yeah, the 95 took
Oh.
4 tires, and the 46 has taken 2 tires. The
Oh
46 of Bridget Brosseau might have the strategy here. She has taken 2 tires. Is she going to get ahead of the 95?
95 needs to be careful not to hit the wall here.
Brosseau just ahead.
I don't think this is gonna work because there's not that high of a tire fall-off, but there is still one. But I mean, we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see where the 12 comes out when.
12 took 4 tires. There's where the 12 is. She's sitting behind the 62 right now. There's the 4 of
Oh, the
Jones.
4. Okay, yeah, the 12's not gonna win this.
35 has come down pit road. Here comes Reynolds for the lead on Brosseau. There's the 7. So the 82 is. There's the 7
They're going
exiting right
3
here.
wide.
3 wide right here. Jeez, that is
Oh my.
a mess.
Yep, now they're pushing. Golden
Yeah,
Card's
look.
not
Yeah,
gonna
now
push
they're
on
they're
field.
really trying to push right now. There's the
The only car is
35. 35 took 2 tires as well. She's gonna exit with these two.
I don't understand overcutting and putting 2 tires. It seems slightly counterproductive to me.
Naomi Davenport, the 22 car, she's in 10th spot. So how about that? The 22 on pace right now for another, at least right now, for another top 10 finish. Reynolds is driving away. Kennedy really lost a lot of ground on that stop. She was only about 1.1 seconds back when she came in. She's 5.4 seconds back now.
Yeah, and it didn't help that she came out directly battling with other cars.
Yeah.
That killed her chances, and now it's gonna be. I mean, she's still gonna get the money, so that's good. She's gonna win
The bonus. Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as the 25 doesn't get to her. Brosseau's still trying to hold on, but I think those 2 tires just aren't doing it for her right now.
I mean, I think it's gonna come down to how well can she block cars. Might, yeah. The
Well,
95.
I think the best shot Brosseau has is a yellow flag coming out. So we see a fight for 5th
Probably.
here now. Quinton and Kennedy.
I think yellow flag coming out would be good for her, but she's not actually losing that much. You would expect it to be worse for a car that's
On 2 tires, yeah.
on 2 tires. So maybe she's able to defend this, or maybe not second, but maybe she's able to defend at least 1 or 2 positions of this.
But very interesting the split strategy we have, but the 95 is starting to pull away now. "20 laps to go from New Hampshire. In a fairly calm race overall.
I think the fact have the field died on lap 20 made this pretty calm.
That's a fair point.
Because the racing has been pretty close. I think we would have gotten quite a crazy race if it wasn't for most of the very competent drivers getting wrecked out.
Yeah.
.46 is losing like a tenth per lap.
Yeah, she's just struggling on the
So it's
2
not-
tires just don't have
No,
those grip.
Yeah, but a tenth per lap isn't enough to really lose this. Like, I think she's maybe not good for second place, but maybe she's definitely good for third, I think.
Well, remember as well, the 35 also is on 2 tires. The first 4-tire car back here, I believe, is actually the 4 of Jones.
Yes, but the 35 is on newer 2 tires, so. I still think that the 35 will probably overtake. Also, I think that the 35 is just faster than the 46.
I think the 35
Oh
is going to
my God.
get overtaken before that, honestly.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking that before now, but now she's getting blocked by
The 42.
42. So
Her own teammate.
I think it's going to be a conversation after this race. Yeah.
Oh, look at these two. They're leaning on each other. Quinn leaned on Jones there to try and take the fourth spot.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's at this point you gotta push. If you want to finish, I mean, their hope would probably be second, and you've got to make those tough overtakes and those door to doors and those. I mean, those possible wrecks, really.
Yeah.
And the 92 just.
82.
Yeah, 82. And the 82 just completely fails to have a good corner here. And I mean, she's right behind the 35, so it's not the time for that.
I think this is Reynolds' race to lose, though. That 95 is absolutely out of here.
Definitely. I mean, the only way Reynolds loses the race is a mechanical failure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's done. That's done. What they're fighting for is third place, maybe second.
Maybe second if the 46 slows up enough. You were right about the 35. She did get off strategy. She did try something. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think she would have been good if she had taken 4 tires instead of 2.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I could still be right. Hey, if the 95 has a mechanical failure and takes out the 46 with it, then I'm right.
Yeah.
But I mean, that'd certainly be a finish.
That would be absurd.
That'd be very funny.
Quinn slides wide again. Quinn's been trying to get up to the outside of Anderson. Anderson has really been blocking the low lane. Davenport's dropped back behind Munoz, so the 22 slipped to 10th. Seeing back here, there's Vinny Schultz, Deborah Williams. Good day for Deborah Williams. Driver who needed a pretty good day. Chasing that regular season championship. You know, Mayumi Moriyama came in as the points leader, and she didn't have the win, so she was in that spot of being the points leader, the points leader automatic spot as we passed our Windows 11 to go just a little bit ago.
You missed it.
I missed it, yes.
Yep. Yeah, so now it's the Windows 9 to go.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite operating system, Windows 9. It released.
No, it's not that. It's that. All right.
Quinn finally for round for third. The question is now can Quinton get to the 46 for second? Can Quinton get by the 46 for second, really?
Well, it's 2 seconds. That would mean gaining... Realistically, that would mean gaining like half a second per lap, plus taking a few laps to overtake her.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lap car between them, so my guess would be no.
There's a lap car between them, although that's a pretty off-the-pace lap car, Edelstein is.
Yeah, but it can still block another car.
I mean, that's true.
Even if for half a corner. And now there's 2 lap cars. Okay, no, that's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing I'd like to shout out about Bridget Brousseau This would be her 4th top 10 finish in her 6 races that she's run. So Brousseau has really injected a lot of life into this team.
I think, I mean, it could be very interesting to see what happens with Rousseau. She might get recruited to a better team next year.
Yeah.
There's then
5 laps to go.
82 caught those 2 lap cars, overtook them, and now the gap is down to a little
It's
bit
about a second.
more than a second.
It's about 1.1 seconds. So that's going to be the battle, is going to be for second. It's Brousseau and Quinton will be fighting for second.
It's gonna be...
Kennedy's gotten by Anderson.
Yeah, that 35's done. At 35 they'll lose that. Well, finish 5th.
5th or 6th depends on where the
6th.
where the
Yeah, I
4
didn't see the
get
4.
if the 4 can get by.
I didn't see the 4. 82 did not gain time this time by, or did not gain significant time this time by.
I
So
think
this
she
is-
gained 2/10. She's pretty close
That's
to the
not
46.
enough. That's mathematically not enough, though.
She's pretty close
22.
here. $29.9
Alright.
to a 30.2.
Yeah, this will come to the last lap.
I think so, yeah.
Considering how long it took to overtake the 35, it probably won't be made, but hey, maybe. Maybe we'll see some kind of crazy move by the 82. Also helps, then that's a very notable fact. There's a car right in front of them.
Yeah, and that's actually the 46's teammate.
So,
2 to go.
man, could the 45 run the 46 day? That'd be something.
Well, she's not let out of the way here. White flag.
Oh,
White flag. 1 lap to go. This is the fight for second. Quinton's not going to be able to get underneath. Cara Reynolds is gone. 5.2 second lead now. As Brousseau and Quinton fight for second. Quinton looks to the inside. She's not going to be able to get down there. And it'll be Cara Reynolds finally going to victory lane. Reynolds wins in New Hampshire, side by side for second, and Brousseau just hangs on to it.
yep. I mean, it was done when it was done when that 45 went to the outside there, because you're not pulling ahead after turn 4 usually. You conclude your turn 3 and 4 overtakes in turn 1 and 2. So
Well, how about that for Cara Reynolds getting her first win of the season? And that's a driver who, you know, not really, she's not out of nowhere here. She's run pretty good all season long. And another thing is that Appalachia Motorsports, and both with 59 and the 95, have both run pretty well all season long, just haven't been able to get that win. They finally get it done. And that's something that I think Caleb is going to be very happy about.
definitely. But you know, it's kind of a bittersweet day for Appalachia, because one of their car qualified for the chase. Yes, one of their car gets knocked out of the chase.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. I mean, it's good, but there was going to be a bit of a salty taste after this. I'm pretty sure. Jackie Kennedy, once the cash jumps into a playoff spot for the moment.
Yeah.
That's good for her. Lily Quinton, I mean, she got a bit lucky. She was able to She was able to keep her position, which with the 84 wasn't able to do. Goodness, the 84 finished 13th here.
Yeah.
It's wow. It's very far down.
Quinton also had the fastest lap of the race. All right. Well, race is over, so we are gonna take it down to fan studio here for the finish of our coverage here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Rashi and Ellie, take it away and preview us for tomorrow's Cup race and next week's Continental race.
Well, it was Cara Reynolds finally taking home a trophy at the end of this one. It's been quite a while. It's been quite a while now. Knife has run really well as one of the best cars on the Continental field, and it's finally all come together today at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, taking the win in the USA Today 200. Bridget Brousseau hangs on for second against Zoe Quinton. That two-tire strategy working pretty well for the 46 gain that extra few spots. Jackie Kennedy finishes fourth and takes the chase for the money, as well as taking the last spot for the next race, I think, as well, I believe. She'll also get the last spot in the playoffs on points. Krista Anderson rounds out the top 5. Cassidy Jones with a good run, finishing 6th. Deborah Williams sneaking in another good run, 7th. Vinny Schultz, Naomi Davenport, and Reina Munoz rounding out the top 10. Well, we predicted that it was going to come down to that last pit cycle. Definitely saw a few teams trying some interesting stuff. We saw those two tire stops worked pretty well to gain an extra few spots. I think Brousseau moved up to second. I think Anderson moved up a spot as well to 5th there. So definitely worked pretty well given the number of laps we had left. Just about made it work. I think those two cars just about made it work, I think.
Yeah, I usually don't trust the two-tire strategy too much, but I think given the amount of laps left when they considered it, I think they knew they weren't going to get a first-place position, and they just wanted to try and knock some people down from where they were, and I think that was successful for what they wanted to do, and I think that was kind of smart if they wanted to, because 46 got a second-place position out of that.
Yeah.
Usually I wouldn't say, go for the two-tire strategy, but I think it was fine for her, and I think it was fine for Andrea Davison as well. This was a very interesting race. It heated up a little bit more towards the end, but it was like overall very calm, minus that one crash in the beginning.
Yeah, that one crash definitely took out a lot of cars, but after that we didn't really see anything happen. Really, just the 81 just needed a caution to clean up some of the oil spilled up by the 81's engine failure, and that was about it. We had two green flag pit cycles, in the race, and that was pretty. And that was, I think, what kind of characterized the flow of the race. I think Reynolds, they're working really well to just kind of fend off all of the attacks coming through. We saw the 46 come out on those two tires, defended pretty well for 2 laps, but there were for about 2 laps or so. But there were a lot of laps left to go after that, and maybe that would have worked a little better if it had been the very end of the race. But yeah, definitely good for Brousseau to get second at least from that really good run by the 46. I think.
Yeah, and I think Cara Reynolds kind of has deserved this and has been clearly wanting a win. She's been performing really well lately, I'd say, and I think it wasn't too shocking to see her win given her performances, and I think this is a mixed bag because they have a car that won on Appalachia, right? But they also had a car that was taken out. So, I mean, there's some positives and negatives, but overall, I mean, you got a driver that won, so I would be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy with the way things panned out here. Kennedy moving up to 35 points above the cut line with that run. no changes really in the makeup of the cut line race. 95 was already well inside on points, and now has that win. Should move up pretty far up the standings with that really good run. 95 has, yeah, you mentioned the 95 has run really well. The 95 has been running like a front runner all season pretty much. Wasn't able to get that win for the longest time, really. It took it is frankly surprising that it took this long for Reynolds to get that win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as long as it gets done, you know.
Yeah, it's a little surprising because she's ran like a front runner, like you said, the entire season pretty much. But I think it's also good timing because it's kind of getting to the point where points are mattering less and wins are mattering more. So I think she clinched it right in time. I think.
Yeah.
I would say
that makes sense as well.
Yeah. And another interesting bit from this race is that Naomi Davenport somehow manages to get into the top 10 again for some reason.
Davenport has been utterly ridiculous since she managed to get. I mean, she has the most top 10s, easily the most number of top 10s, but for anyone, you know, out of everyone in the series,
Yeah.
well ahead of even your championship leaders. Has 4 top 5s, which is up there with your championship leaders, and of course has that one win in Kentucky. So that 22 car has been. I mean, that 22 car is in all likelihood, a championship contender, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think she's definitely going to be up there. And I think now that we're having this kind of more mixed style of racing, we're having a bit more of the ovals now. I think she kind of performs a little better on them as well. So I think that might like also I guess the word I'm looking for is like go in her favor with more of the ovals we've been getting so far because she has performed a little bit better on the ovals.
On the big ovals, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's where she got her win. That's where she got another one of her top 5s. She did really well at Charlotte as well in the Continental race there. So yeah, I wouldn't. That's definitely something to look out for as well. She seems pretty versatile as a whole, obviously, with the way she's been running at the short tracks. But we'll see what happens on the big tracks as well. Speaking of big tracks, the Cup Series is moving on to their round at Germany. They're moving on to they'll be racing at the Lausitzring tomorrow. The big triangle-shaped oval in East Germany there. I think that's the site of a former coal mine, which also tracks for a lot of what happens in East Germany, to be fair. But yeah, that's a big oval. We mentioned the American open wheel racing pedigree of the track at Rio de Janeiro. This track obviously has a lot of history with those cars as well, and also with a few other series, including DTM that run on the road course layout here, there as well. So
yeah, I think that'll be an interesting track for sure. It looks it's a big, fun to watch.
Kind of flat oval. It's very high speed, so that's going to be something to look forward to. Obviously, and the Continental Series then afterwards, moving on next week, they will be back at one of the big ovals. They're moving to Chicagoland, the 1.5 mile tri-oval there. That's one of the that's always one of the more intriguing 1.5 mile speedway ovals to talk about because of the slightly curved rear back straightaway. Obviously, most of the speedways on the AWSCO schedule have a fairly flat backstretch, but in Chicagoland, you managed to keep that momentum just a little bit more with that. Keep those speeds up a little bit more with that slightly curved backstretch oval. But yeah, that'll be a fun race. That'll be a fun race. Back to kind of that big track speedway racing that we've not really seen since at least Michigan, but I'd argue more like Charlotte, I think. Charlotte's the last 1.5 mile oval, I think, that we raced at. So that's that's something to look. That's the next track that Continental will be visiting. And as we look at the rest of the Continental schedule, actually, just a quick look at that before we wrap everything up. Obviously, Chicagoland. Then you have Surrey, which is the Echo Energy International Speedway. We're going back to doing some more shorter tracks there. Surrey, IRP, Iowa, Richmond. Those tracks are all under a mile. And then we wrap up our regular season in both series at Darlington and Pensacola. That's going to be the real wild cards of the season. I think Darlington is a tricky oval, and Pensacola is Pensacola. With that, I think this is a good time to wrap up our post-race show here. Congrats to Cara Reynolds on her first win of the season. And with that, it's been a pleasure having you guys here with us in the studio. And we'll throw it over to Echo now for the end of our broadcast. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us.
Yeah, and a very fun race here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway today. Tomorrow night, we've got more racing action from the Dekra Lausitzring in Germany. 198 laps, 400 miles from that big 2-mile triangle oval. We hope you'll enjoy that race. And next week, Chicagoland in the Continental Series, and we'll be at Motegi in Cup. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Congrats to Cara Reynolds. On behalf of Rasha, Ellie, and Lidovic, I'm